Good morning, my friends. How are you today? I hope you're having a good morning and you've done some stretches and maybe you've hopped around like a frog and maybe you've had your breakfast in your body and you're feeling strong and awake and you've washed your face and brushed your hair and brushed your teeth and you're ready for a fun lesson. So let's say hello with my heart to your heart. Hello, my friends. And we'll say hello with our rainbow to all our friends connected through our lessons. Good morning. And let's take out our calendar. So my calendar is here, and I'm going to put it down in front of me first before I hold it up to you. And I want you to help me figure out what day it is. So I know that yesterday was Wednesday. What month is it? April 15th. And that tomorrow is Friday, April 17th. So today must be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, did you say Thursday? Today is Thursday, April 16th. So I'm going to hold it up so you can see. Thursday, April 16th. There we go. And we are still in the season of spring. I know you guys know. And I hope that your backyard bird book is going well, and maybe your bird feeders are getting empty. So one thing you could do is put more fruit on it or do a new one, or you can make lots of different types of bird feeders. There's ones with old milk cartons and things like that, where you can put some seeds in it. So I hope you're still getting lots of cool birds visiting you. And yeah, our weather today. So we've had really windy days here. It's been about 3 days of windy days. Yesterday, when I was having the lesson with you, it wasn't that windy yet, but then in the afternoon it got super windy, and then last night it was windy, and now all of the ice off of the lake here has pretty much melted, and then it's separated, and now it's like pushed up against the shores, and the lake is sort of free and open, which is really cool because it reminds me that summer is coming and that soon the lake will be warm enough to go swimming in, hopefully, and going canoeing and kayaking and paddleboarding. Yeah, so it's nice that the ice is gone, but it looks really different so quickly. And I think I took some cool pictures of the ice, so I'm going to try to send them to you so you guys can see it as it was kind of breaking up. So in my weather book, I just put the date, and my sun for some reason is like really neon yellow, but that's my sun, and I did some wind because the wind is coming and going and coming and going, but it is sunny today and not so cloudy. And then in my jar, I think you can see, if I hold it up, there's just one little drop of water, and that is just condensation. So basically this morning the jar was empty. It had a little bit of pine needle in it, but when I brought it inside, it was fogged up. So as soon as the temperature changed, it was cold, it came into the warm house, and then it fogged up, and then that condensation made one little drop of water in here. So obviously it's not enough to record the centimeters or millimeters, so I just put a tub for the trace amounts. But who knows, maybe you have different weather in Ottawa and you're recording that in your jar, so that's fun. And yeah, okay, so let's go on and talk about the frog. So we've been doing lots of different frog things, and I'm going to send you guys today a book, and this book is a frog little booklet, and basically I wanted to print it and be able to show it to you, but I wasn't able to. It was just too much pages. So if you also don't want to print it, that's fine. You can just look at it at your computer, and then there's a part where you can do writing underneath, or you can just read the frog book out, which is also kind of just fun, and it's just facts about the frogs, and it goes over the life cycle, which we've been talking about anyways, so it's just more of the same interesting knowledge. So here, our life cycle that we did yesterday, and I thought maybe quick, I'll just point to it and you can say what the stage of the life cycle of the frog is at, okay? So this one is the Yeah, the eggs, and then the eggs go from eggs to adult frog. No. Eggs to this guy? No. Eggs go to the tadpole. And there he is down there. And the tadpole keeps growing and goes right into this guy. No, goes into here. Who's this? What do we call this? The froglet. Yeah. And then the froglet starts breathing air like we do through its lungs. And then its tail disappears and it comes into the adult frog. So this frog, the one that I colored, was a green frog. I'm sort of thinking there's a type of frog called a spring peeper frog, and it makes a really pretty mating call, and it calls to other frogs so that they can mate. And this is the time of year that the frogs are mating, and it's usually found in like rivers or marshlands or wetlands or ponds and shallow waters, and always lays its eggs in the water. And so that's sort of the frog that I did here. And one cool thing about frogs is that, especially our Canadian frogs, is that their color they are will totally always signify what habitat they live in. So if you have a brown frog, if you see brown frog, a dark brown frog, and that maybe looks like the color of bark or wood, and that's probably a wood frog or a tree frog, a Canadian one. And then, of course, we've seen in South America, like the frog work in the class, there's blue poison frogs and red frogs, and those ones less camouflage, but also sort of with all the different colors of plants, maybe in like the rainforest, but also they allow predators to know that they're dangerous, and so they have these bright colors to warn other animals not to eat them. And then the green frogs, of course, like here, they can camouflage into the tall grasses and on lily pads and even short grass or near the shoreline. So that's definitely part of the frog's cool characteristics. So we also have this work here, and that was part of this. So maybe you've already done this. And yesterday I talked about putting the labels on, but this you were just same thing, eggs, tadpole, froglet, and adult frog. There, so you would have the two at the end. This one you can even fold into a little book. And again, if you can't print, or if you don't want to print, or whatever it is, you of course can always color your own and do your own drawing of frogs and the stages of the frog, and then glue it in your own circle, or in a row like that, and you can label it, so you don't have to feel the need to print it all out. It's up to you. Okay? All right, so today's fun activity that I thought would be cool would be to think about our five senses as if we were a frog. Yeah. So I was thinking we should take a second, just close our eyes, get into our frogginess. Maybe do one hop, one ribbit. Yeah, there you go. And then we have this sheet here, and again, you don't have to print this out. You can just write the five senses, or you can just draw a symbol for each 5 sense. And I did a mixture of drawing things that a frog's 5 senses would inform them, or you can write the words. It's up to you. Okay, so yes, I wrote frog on the top, just to remind you that I'm pretending to be a frog doing this activity. So for sight, for things that frogs see, so what is something that you think frogs would see being a frog? So we're talking about the adult frog. So what would something they see? So my first thought was that they would see, different grasses, different rocks. I didn't actually write rocks. Maybe I'll write rocks. Along the river edge, I'll just draw a little rock. Here's my pencil crayons. There we go. Rocks. They might see grasses. They might see water. Different things like that. So you can write down whatever you think. Maybe they see their predators. Frogs have really great eyesight, actually, so they are able to see lots of different things. And then what's something you think frogs would hear? What's something that they can hear? So I said, immediately I was thinking about the wind pushing like the tall grasses, or when the wind here has been loud. And I know it's a weird thing to say about wind, but as it moves water and things like that, so I was thinking you could hear probably the wind pushing the water. It could hear, grasses moving. It could hear when it was swimming. It could probably hear predators coming in the water. So things like that. So I just wrote wind, water, and then I also wrote it can hear other frogs because, like I was saying, like the mating calls between frogs are quite loud, and people, go to bed at night and they can hear the frogs talking to each other and calling to each other. So definitely they'll hear other frogs. And then what's something they could smell? So frogs do have nostrils. We did look at the parts of the frog and we saw that they have nostrils to smell. And my first thought was that maybe the frogs can smell like earth or mud, if they're especially on the shorelines, on the edges, it's definitely going to have a lot of that smell. So maybe they can also smell in the summer, like if there's flowers. Maybe I'll draw a flower on mine. Flowers and other plants, because as they hop around and look for insects, they might go through different smells. Okay, and then I said taste. So what can frogs taste? Well, we have to think about what frogs are eating to stay alive, and we know that they're eating insects and worms. They're eating different, maybe small fishes, so those are some things that they eat and taste. And they probably taste the water, the lake water or the pond water, so who knows how that tastes? I don't want to taste it. And then the last thing is, what are they feeling? What are they touching? So they don't have, hands like us. They don't have opposable thumbs. But, of course, they can feel things on their body, and they have that moist skin everywhere. So, we need to be careful not to touch frogs because our oils from our skin would go right into their skin and possibly hurt them and make them sick. What are they feeling? Well, they're probably feeling, the water on their bodies as they swim. They're feeling, again, like the wind and all the different elements. So definitely, because they live outside, so I'm going to put some rain, because they're going to feel it if it rains. Maybe at that point they swim under the water so they don't get wet. But I'm going to write rain. Or swim under the water so they don't get wet. They're still going to get wet, but not with rain, hard rain falling on them. So definitely those are some things that they're going to feel in their body. Oh. I think Sloan was building a tower and it just fell. So that's sort of what mine looks like at the end, and yours can look like that. It can be all drawings, it can be just words, whatever you feel like doing. So I hope you have fun pretending to be a frog and thinking like a frog. I definitely think it's a fun activity because you have to think different than you do. So okay. So now we're going to move on to our synonyms. So you guys have been doing such an awesome job. We matched our synonyms on Tuesday, and then we did our story where we replaced replaced words with other words, which was great. And then today we're going to just do this cool kind of activity, and it's just our feelings. Because I wanted to give one more lesson on synonyms so we really understand it, but also because when we have feelings, there's lots of different ways of describing our feelings, and especially right now, some of us might be feeling lots of different feelings, and we might hear people talking about their feelings, and we're like, oh, I don't really understand that word, or I don't know that word yet, so I think it's important to kind of explore with our words and see which kind of words mean the same thing. So that's what we're going to do today. So basically, I just wrote down 5 feelings. I wrote happy, sad, scared, angry, and surprised. And what I would like you to do at home is to come up with 1 or 2 or 3 more words for each of those. Okay, so all right, so for happy, so right off the top of your head, when you think about happy, I'm going to do mine in marker so that you can see it, but again, you can do yours in cursive or print, and what I'll do is I'll just send these 5 feelings home, and then you can write them out, and then you can do little lines like I've done, or you can do circles, or you can put them in straight lists, whatever you want, okay? So happy. So what are some other ways of saying happy? So I'm really happy, I'm really, you can say glad. I'm glad. I'm glad to be having this lesson with you. So I'm going to put glad. 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 Okay. And another word for happy that I hear people use, sometimes, especially, maybe in books and stuff, they say content. I'm content, which also means happy. So I'm going to put content as another synonym for happy. And then I'm going to leave one down here, and then you can figure it out. So you can figure out what also is another synonym for happy. Okay, let's do sad. So what are some synonyms of sad? Okay, so sometimes people say, I'm miserable. Oh, I think that means they're like really sad, but it's definitely saying the same thing as sad. So I'm going to write miserable. And then another way that some people describe feeling sad is they just say, I'm unhappy, right? So I can also write unhappy. Whoops. Unhappy. There we go. Okay, so those are two there, and then you guys can come up with another one for sad, or maybe you want to use different ones. So whatever comes to your mind, you should put down in your feelings and your synonyms of feelings. Okay, what about scared? So what's another way of saying scared? I feel scared. I feel afraid. Yeah. I wonder if you guys shouted that out. Afraid. I feel. Oh, I just worded for surprised. Okay, I'll just make a bigger line from scared. There we go. So afraid. Yeah, I feel afraid. That's a good one. Another one is I feel timid. Okay, so timid also can mean that you're feeling scared. Sort of falls within the same category. Okay, and then I'll let you do one more for scared. Okay, now angry. So I'm angry. What's the other one you guys can say a lot? Yeah, I'm mad. So I can put mad. Okay, another one is I think sometimes you guys say I'm furious. So you can say I'm furious. So those are synonyms for angry, and you guys can come up with another one. Okay, what about surprised? Surprised can be, oh yeah, okay, just thinking. So when I was thinking of surprised, I was sort of searching, and I was like, oh yeah, you can be alarmed. I'm alarmed that you're here, and it sort of reminds us of like the word alarm. So I'm gonna write alarmed. Okay. Another one you can say is I'm stunned. I'm stunned. There we go. And then I'll leave one more for you to figure out. So there we go. That's sort of like our synonyms, feelings, word map. Very cool. And would love for you to keep working on it. So I will send you the 5 feelings that I did. And then you can come up with your examples, so 3 for each. And you can obviously use the ones that I've given. I've given 2, so you can add 1 more in each. And that'd be great work. And really understanding how our synonyms give us more language to describe so many things. So all words are related, and this gives us just more words, more ways of describing how we're feeling, and things like that. Okay, so we're going to move on to our math, and we're just going to keep going with our multiplication. And you guys are doing such a great job. I'm so proud of you. I know that it's a lot of practice, but practice makes it so much easier as we're memorizing our multiplication tables. So we're going to do the same game as yesterday. I have 4 multiplied by 4, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 6, okay? So basically, I just cut out a bunch of numbers. Oh yeah, and I put one more ticket in here, so if you're still working on these, that's good too. We can do this one together. A ladybug has 6 legs. How many legs do 5 ladybirds? Ladybird. Oh, it says a ladybird. That's funny because it's a picture of a ladybug, but it says a ladybird. Anyways, okay, so ladybug has 6 legs. How many do 5 have? All right, so in my mind, I know a 6 and I'm multiplying by 5. I'm looking on here, 6, going down to 5. Oh, it gives me 30. So 30 is my answer. I'll write 30 in my box. So there we go, 30. So I hope you're having fun doing those. Maybe you're done those. And now we can play this game. So these are your multiples, and I will send home some worksheets that support this game. Also, you're so welcome to make this game and play it. It's really easy. You just write whatever multiples you're looking for and then cut up numbers. I actually just took the 100 board and I cut up one of my copies of the 100 board, and yeah, that's what I'm using. And you can even take your multiplication tables and cut that up. Okay, so let's pick one. Okay, so I chose, I can't see that, I apologize, 24. All right, so let's see. If I'm doing multiplied by 4, does the number, oh, look, 24 is here. So 24, so if I go up, it shows me that 6. So 4 times 6 gives me 24. So it is a multiple of 4. It's also a multiple of 6, right? So if I go to my 6th row, I'm going to see it here under the 4. Interesting. So you could put it under either or, okay? And I know that happened probably a little bit yesterday because we had like 2s and 5s, so that happens especially like 10. So 10's a multiple of 5 and of 2. So yeah, so if it's in between, you can just choose which ones you can go. Or if you really want to be tricky, you can write a second ticket and put it underneath. Okay, so let's grab another one. Okay, so oh my gosh, they're sticking together. I grab number 10. Okay, so does 4 have 10 as a multiple? No. Does 3 have 10? No. Does 6 have 10? No. So 10 is not a multiple of any of these. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, I grabbed 40. I grabbed 42. There we go, 42. So let's see. Does 4 have a multiple of 42? No, it ends at 40. Does 3 have a multiple of 42? No. Let's see if 6. 6 has a multiple. Yeah, 6 has a multiple of 42. 7 times 6 gives me 42. So it does. Okay, let's see if we can find one for 3. Okay, I grabbed number. What number did I grab? Can you see? Yeah, 15. All right, so let's see. Does 4 have a multiple of 15? No. Does 6? No. Does 3? Yeah, 3 has a multiple of 15 because 5 times 3 gives me 15. So there you go. Okay, so you can just keep playing that game. Play as much as you like, and I hope you have so much fun. Okay. And then finally, I wanted to share with you our practical life activity for today. And it's okay. So here we go. I'm just going to take out my mat, and we're still working with pouring. And today we are going to pour some rice. And there's some, my rice is rice and quinoa. Okay, so that's why the black dots are in there. And it's the same as yesterday. It's a little trickier though, because sometimes when you're pouring grains or if you're pouring sand and stuff, it can stick together. So you really want to do this supported pour that's slow, that has your hand underneath, just like we talked about yesterday. We don't want to do it above our eyesight. We want to do it where we can see into our jar so we can see where we're targeting and we can see how it's coming out. Okay, so I'm going to just hold it and I'm going to pour. And my bottom hand again is supporting my pour. There. Okay, so it feels like the weight of my jar got lighter and I'm thinking like I've poured everything out. So let's see. Oh no, there's still more. Okay, so what I'm going to do is kind of shake it up and I'm going to pour some more. And I have to be very slow and careful and use my bottom hand because I have this wide top, so my grains have a potential just to spill over the top, and I don't want to spill any. So there we go. So I'm pouring some rice and quinoa into there, and you guys can choose whatever. You can pour cereal, you can pour flour, you can pour sand, beads, whatever you have, okay? So I hope you have fun practicing, and you can do big jugs and little jugs, and you can do lots of different cups, whatever is fun for you and is a challenge. All right, so let's say goodbye. I hope you have a great day, my friends. So bye to all my friends under a rainbow. Bye, my friends. And goodbye from my heart to your heart. And I will see you tomorrow.